This is Tara. She, her husband Kitaro, and 2 kids live on the coast of British Columbia and love their community. But a few weeks ago, everything changed. A huge storm, unlike any they had seen, decimated their town and home. They never anticipated this and are heartbroken. In between working on repairs, Kitaro and Tara did some research and learned that sea levels are rising fast. As they look around their home, they realize they're increasingly vulnerable to extreme flooding and more storms. Tara is worried about the future of their home, family, and neighbors, and decides to go to City Council to ask what can be done, where she learns there isn't a plan to prepare for climate change in her local community. She and Kitaro are frustrated and wonder if their dream to live on the coast was naive and if it's time to leave. Nearby, a fisherman named Tamo is taking over his grandfather's small-scale fishing business. He's been fishing since he was a boy. Tamo finds dangerously low fish stocks, putting his family-owned business on the edge of bankruptcy. He learns that the federal government has closed several commercial fisheries and that local fish stocks are on the verge of collapse. He's frustrated and worried. Tamo's heard the government say it could take multiple generations to rebuild the salmon stock. He watches boats empty out of the harbor and feels hopeless about the future for himself, his business, and his family. Fishing is the only thing he's ever known. Can he carry on the family business? At the same time, Leia and her indigenous community nearby can no longer harvest shellfish in their territory. Contamination and poor water quality make these foods unsafe for their families. These shellfish are critical to their way of life. Their ancestors have been harvesting shellfish from these same beaches for millennia. Leia and her community are deeply connected to the land and water systems. They didn't cause the contamination and see sewer overflow in the water from neighboring regions. They know what is needed to restore the health of the shellfish beds. The government is not working with them on a plan to stop the pollution or to repair the shellfish beds. All of these coastal groups are experiencing fear and frustration, but they aren't alone. British Columbia is one of the last coastal regions without a marine coastal strategy, directly impacting BC coastal families and businesses like Tara, Kitaro, Tamo, and Leia. Instead of a cohesive plan, BC has inherited a jumble of regulations and laws overseen by different ministries and departments. This makes it difficult to coordinate and organize, so we need a strong, united plan to protect the BC coast. A blueprint, if you will. An effective blueprint must be developed jointly with coastal Indigenous nations, like Leia and her family, and honor their knowledge and experience as long-standing stewards of the land. The blueprint should be backed by law and needs an established home within the BC government for effective decision-making and cooperation. It must mitigate the impacts of climate change. Our sea levels are rising, and local marine species are on the edge of extinction. And finally, our blueprint must support sustainable coastal communities and economies. We need to ensure healthy coastal ecosystems for the future of the coastline. The coast is where we live and work, and it feeds and sustains us. We love the coast and must give it the future and coastal marine strategy that it deserves.